I gotta mention Denver. Sorry, buddy. Always gotta mention Denver. I'm not gonna go back there. Let's do the old bike salute. Wow, it's really nice back here, actually. Hey, buddy. And what happened to Miami Dolphins? What the hell? Well, Happy New Year, everyone. It is the 2nd of January, and it's actually warm enough to ride, believe it or not. I guess Al Gore was right, the global warming, right? But no, it's nice. I think it's almost like 60 degrees. I put the temperature up at the beginning because I always forget to do that, so there you go. But I got about 4 layers on. Still got my ski gloves on because my hands and my feet are the thing that get the coldest. So 2 pair of socks. You know, you got the long johns on, and then the pair of winter pants under that, or over that I should say. But anyway, I'm hopefully going to be able to ride here for a little bit and not be freezing my butt off, so this will be a good test. But no, I wanted to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I hope you had a lot of fun and were able to enjoy the holidays a little bit before we get back to the mad rush. But I am off today like most of the world, and it's nice because I could be off and pretend I'm retired or something. Wouldn't that be cool? One day. Hey, when I retire, I'll probably be doing a video every day, watch. But no, I just love, I love creating the content. And like I said, what kind of turned in, what started as a hobby really for this, has turned into part of my life. And I've mentioned that before, but it's really been a really cool thing for me because, you know, you got to have some interest in life, right? You can't just come home after work and sit in your lazy boy and rot away. Everybody has something in life that keeps them busy, whether you collect cards or I'm showing my age now, collect baseball cards or coins, whatever. Now everybody has interest, but I'm glad that this keeps me busy. And the nice thing about having a motovlog channel is I get to get outside instead of sitting on a chair and, you know, get out there with the elements and stuff. I don't like the bitter cold and the extreme heat elements, but this is doable right here today. And I plan on bringing a lot more to you guys in this 2023. I'm trying to get my hands on some different bikes so I can do more reviews for some of the newer bikes that are out there. It's just, inventory was rough last year, so that's kind of what held me back a lot. But I'm going to do my due diligence and try to get in some different rides this year with different bikes, hopefully. At least that's my plan. we'll see how that transpires. But you saw the video topics on the thumbnail of this new video, and I want to talk about, I know a lot of you probably watch the NFL. If you don't like this topic, just go ahead. I always include the chapters under the video so you can skip ahead if you want. But the NFL is one of the things I wanted to talk. Oh my gosh, these bumps. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to lead it off though with bike safety, because I don't know the statistics from last year as far as accidents and deaths on motorbikes, and I don't want to keep bringing up that sour topic, but bike safety is really important, especially if it's 2023 and you guys are thinking about getting a motorbike this year, whether it's new or used. I have a lot of videos to help you try to find the motorbike that fits you the best. Actually, the video right before this was a good one for that. And yeah, sometimes I'll get some razzing from the audience out there that, you know, you didn't go over this or you didn't cover that. Look, I can't remember to cover everything, even though I do work on a script and I'll write a script for things. Look, I'm human, right? I can't remember everything, but I do the best I can, and I think the majority of people that watch my channel and subscribe do enjoy them. So with that said, I wanted to talk about bike safety, and I have plenty of mention of that during a lot of videos, but the most important thing is, guy needs a muffler. The most important thing is your head and a helmet. And I don't like to beat a dead horse, but if you guys are thinking about getting a bike and you're a new rider, a helmet's going to be a must, because you may not even have your motorcycle endorsement yet. So you got to find a good helmet, because by law, with your temporary license, you definitely need a helmet by law. At least in Ohio, I think it's mandated across the country. So bike safety, number one thing for me is a helmet. I don't like to ride without one, and that's just a personal preference. You can, if you want, after you get your endorsement, your endorsement, feel free. But I don't, because I don't trust people on the road, and I'm a really good conscientious rider, I should say. But I don't trust the other people out there. That's basically what it is. And when you're on a bike, you have a very thin profile and people just don't see you. So I'm always going to recommend a helmet. Whether you choose to wear one or not, that's your prerogative. But if you want to be around on the planet and you don't want to be drooling like a vegetable because of an accident, wear a helmet. It's going to really increase the odds of that not happening to you. And of course, with bike safety, I think the most important thing, whether it's your gear, your gloves, I don't have like professional protective riding gear with like pads in the elbows and shoulders and knees. I don't have that. I'm going to get it eventually. I'm going to get that stuff. But I think more importantly, instead of the gear, is your helmet by far is going to keep you, you can always, get some road rash and stuff, and that'll heal. But it's very hard to heal the head, especially if there's damage up there in the brain, so the helmet's by far the most important thing of any motorbike rider. And let me get this hard to see. You have to get way up here. And gloves, of course, but I think by far second to the helmet is individual skill sets of riding a bike, any bike. So if you do plan to get a bike this year, I would start out with something you can handle, something maybe small and light, that like this one's only like less than 300 pounds. But there's a lot of motorbikes out there that are smaller and more nimble, and they don't weigh like 800 pounds. It's kind of hard to get on a bike for the first time as a new rider and adjust to a very, very heavy big bike. I mean, that's hard to do. Now there's people that do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend a small, lighter, more nimble bike like this, or it doesn't have to be an automatic like this one, but just something that you can handle and you could reach the floor or the ground with. Now, I got a short inseam. I think it's like 30 inches maybe, if that. So this scooter or motorbike, whatever you call it, when I come to a stop and I try to put my feet down, I'm kind of on my tippy toe a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but I have plenty of balance. I can rest on both feet, and because the bike is so light, honestly, I'm not going to ever tip over or feel that I can't hold it upright. But if you get a big 800, 900 pound bike and you got shorter legs and you come to a stop, yeah, good luck. It's going to be hard and difficult to hold that bike up. So the key is, see if they see me. Yep, they see me. The key is light and nimble and something that you can handle and reach the ground with. That's going to be the most important thing. And this is coming from me that's ridden many bikes over my lifetime, and especially owning this. Why I like this bike so much is it just fits all the bill for me. It's light, nimble. I don't have a problem with balance. I could just do this all day long, and I could ride without even holding the handlebars. This thing is just so balanced so nicely. You know, it's just awesome. It just makes joy. It makes riding a joy, in other words. And I like the automatic. Now, if you're a new rider and you're not really sure of how to shift yet, and you've never ridden a manual bike, one of these, like an automatic CVT transmission or something, or DCT, is really nice because it's just twist and go. You know, like there's no shifting. This is actually a brake. Okay, so you have both your brakes in the front like this one, and I don't have to worry about pulling in the clutch and shifting. See, this has a floorboard, right? So I can just put my feet on here and just twist and go all day long and not have to worry about it. Maybe that would be something you would like for your first bike, you know, and you don't have to be embarrassed by that. But what it does is it teaches you how to ride a bike before you get into the process of trying to shift and everything, because everything at once can be a little complicated and overwhelming for a new rider. So maybe an automatic would be a good choice for you if you're just starting out. But I'm just trying to give you some hints, because I wish I knew this when I first bought my bike. I bought an automatic. It was a piece of junk, and I have a video on all that, so I won't get into it. But it wasn't a pleasurable experience, right? So you want to get something that you're gonna have joy with. That's the key. And then once you learn how to ride it, then you can get, after a year or two, maybe you can upgrade to a bigger bike, because you're going to learn a lot in your first year riding. You're going to learn traffic, you're going to learn how to balance, you're going to learn turning, where you just press into a turn like this and lean. You know, that stuff you want to learn on a light, nimble bike. You don't want to learn that stuff on a big, heavy bike, you know, because it's just going to make it more difficult, and you're going to take the chance of wiping out on it. So yeah, maybe something like this would be a good choice. It just depends on your personal preference. If you do want to learn to shift and ride an automatic bike, a manual shift bike, then you know, that's your choice too. And then another thing I could recommend is doing the rider course, the rider safety course. I did one, and it was the best thing I ever did. Is it going to make me an expert on everything? No, of course not. And I don't ever claim to be an expert. But the rider course is going to teach you things that you're just not aware of, you haven't experienced yet. And that was a really fun experience, and I have a video on that if you want to look at the rider's course thing. I cover it in great detail, so check that out on my channel about the I think it's called a BRS, Basic Rider Skills Course. Your state has those, so you should be able to find something local in your state to do. And then if you take that course and pass it, which most people do, it's not that hard really, it's just a lot of fun. It waives the test at the BMV, so you don't have to take the test. You can actually get a waiver if you pass the course, which, like I said, I would say 99 out of 100 people pass the course on their first try, unless you just do not have any coordination and it's very difficult for you to handle a small bike, because you know there's once in a while somebody that just struggles with that, and that's fine. There's no penalty on it. You can take the course again without penalty. You'll have to pay again, but it's not too bad. So the rider's course would be something you can take, and then you basically just get out there on the road after the rider's course and you apply the skills that you learned in that. So that would be a good deal. There's a lot of people that follow my channel that are new riders, and they're researching bikes like I did when I bought this one, and that's great. It's really great that there's channels out there and creators like that, and that's how I learned about this bike. So it's just nice for us to share information. But I think the overall #1 thing for anybody that rides a motorbike out there is just experience. You're going to gain, the more you ride, the more minutes and hours you put in on a bike on the road. That's where the bread and butter comes in. That's when you're going to learn the most. Just dealing with different things out there on the roadways. So experience is going to be huge. You just got to get out there and do it like anything else. Riding experience is by far the best thing you can have. So do it and ride it casually. Like I like just cruising around. I like cruising around the back roads, subdivisions, and I just like checking out the sights, you know, the homes, the yards, and just getting ideas. It's just kind of fun to get on a bike like this and do that. It's not as much fun on a big, loud, obnoxious, bigger motorbike, because those are really meant for more of the major roads and the wide open. It's kind of hard to cat around on a big, heavy bike, off the beaten path, so to speak. So that's why I like this. Now, if you're looking for a bike that you plan on riding long distances and taking trips, riding across the country and doing day trips, camping trips, yeah, you might want to get a bigger bike. Although there's some channels I follow that also have little bikes like this, and they do these cannonball runs and these day excursions and weekend excursions, and they travel hundreds and hundreds of miles, and it's commendable that they can do that. I think my butt wouldn't hold out. I'd be too uncomfortable unless I really upgraded this bike seat, I should say. But they do it, and they seem to enjoy it, and maybe one day I might consider the same thing. Who knows? So when you're learning how to ride, you don't want to make it any more challenging than it already is. So that's why I kind of harp on a smaller, lighter bike. So it's just a lot more fun to ride. My son bought a Honda Grom for his first bike. So he didn't know how to shift either. He never ridden a manual speed bike. So it took him a while to learn how to shift properly and, you know, do the clutch, you know, the whatever they call that, resistance zone for the clutch. I mean, that takes getting used to if you've never ridden before. So why would you want to do that on something huge? You're going to drop it and you're going to scratch it up, and it's going to be a lot more frustrating. Now, does it matter what kind of bike you get, as far as I'm talking about like the brand name or anything? No, of course not. You get what you like. I mean, there's a lot of nice brands out there. I love Honda because the brand reputation. It's one of the best in the world. Key is finding, if you buy it used, make sure the person took care of it, did all the required maintenance on it, because maintenance is key to any bike. I don't care what brand it is. So my point was, though, is if you do decide on a bike, get what you like, not what other people like. And I really mention that a lot. Bike safety it's a long topic if you really want to get into the details. With that said, just watch some of my other videos, and I know I'm going to forget some things, so I'm human. The thing is, you got to get what feels right to you, and you got to enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy the bike and it's too big and heavy, you're not going to get out and ride it, and you're not ever going to get the experience you need to really learn how to ride a motorbike. So with that said, I'll move on to the next topic. And the next topic, which kind of combines the two on the thumbnail that you saw, are the football and the sports betting kind of are going hand in hand now. I do it myself, but it's always free money. I never put a dime of my own money up ever yet. Like the first of the year, the NFL, like the games for football and sports, like MGM bets and all that, and DraftKings and FanDuel, they all put up kind of like freebies out there. I got like a lot of freebies just signing up to those accounts and betting money on them, betting on the house. I didn't have to put any money up. So I already won, like, it was over $100, I think. I put a few wagers on some things this weekend, yesterday and stuff. Who was it? Oh yeah, I picked Pittsburgh to win, just the money line outright. I picked the Steelers to upset Baltimore. So I just had a feeling they would. So it's just like easy stuff like that. Trust me, I'm not a big time gambler at all. I value my money too much to throw it away like that. But so yeah, I bet that Pittsburgh would win, and they did. I bet for the over on the final score of the Minnesota game. I bet over, and I won that, even though Minnesota played like garbage. I can't believe that. And you know why? You know what happened? Since I'm in fantasy football at my work league, I have JJ, who's Justin Jefferson, we call him JJ, and I have Cook. And they both laid a fat goose egg because Minnesota just got completely shut down by Green Bay's defense. And somebody else did that too. Who was that? Carolina? I forgot. Earlier about 4 weeks ago, I think, the same scenario happened. They shut down Minnesota. It was an embarrassment, and I can't remember. Was it Dallas maybe? I can't remember who it was, but I lost that week too because JJ and Cook, both of them, neither one of them did anything. So I'm beginning to wonder. I know JJ's a great receiver, one of the best, but there's certain players, whoever was up against him last night from the Green Bay, that DB shut him down completely. Now that happens on occasion, but that's going to take a very unique defensive back. And like Jamar Chase, see, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan because I live in Cincinnati, but there's a lot of debate out there, where is Chase or Jefferson the better wide receiver? Well, I don't know, it's hard to say if you're just going on statistics, but how many people can completely shut down Chase versus how many DBs can completely shut down Jefferson, right? And I know my friend Julio is probably laughing his butt off right now because of Denver. I gotta mention Denver, sorry buddy, always gotta mention Denver. But they had a great game yesterday. I saw the highlights and stuff, but oh my gosh, a little slick out. I'm trying not to turn too quick. Hey, there's a biker. Let's do the old bike salute. Yeah. Oh, I didn't want to turn here, but I'm going to anyway. But yeah, Denver had a good game yesterday. I saw some highlights, and Wilson did a lot better job. It just looked like the whole chemistry was doing a lot better yesterday for some reason. I think they lost. I can't remember the details. See, when you play fantasy football like I do, you don't really pay attention to scores too much. You're more about individual players. And I don't know if anyone's ever played fantasy football, but it's a lot of fun. I do it every year, and it's a free league that I get into at work, so it's not like it's costing me anything. Plus, I have a chance to win a gift card or something, so it's just a lot of fun. And I say fun, then at the same time I get really frustrated, like when, wow, it's really nice back here actually. Never been back here before. But anyway, it gets frustrating when you have your players just lay a goose egg like that and get shut down by a defense. That's really hard to swallow when on paper it's like a good matchup, you know. So needless to say, I lost my fantasy football week because of Minnesota again, pretty much. Everybody else did great. Well, I take that back. I also have the Jacksonville Trevor Lawrence, and I don't know if they pulled him out of the game or something, but he scored like only 4 or 5 fantasy points. I don't know what happened there, but that's okay. I still would have won if dang Minnesota would have done something. That was so frustrating.
Dang.
So I don't know if you guys do play fantasy football, if anyone else out there does, but go ahead and leave it in the comments, like, because it's a lot of fun to talk to others about it. But my Bengals play tonight. Now, this video is being recorded before the game, obviously, Monday night, so this is in the afternoon. But the Bengals and Bills play tonight, and that'll be a fun game. That's going to be awesome. I got some wagers on that game just through MGM or something, but so I have like the Bengals to win, the money line. I got them to win. I got Joe Burrow passing under like 350 yards. I don't think he'll get that much. So there's a parlay that you can bet on. You know, you put about 3 or 4 or 5 or however many bets you want together, and they call that a parlay. So I got about a 6 line item parlay on the Bengals game tonight, so I'll be in tune to that. And like I said, it's just for fun. It's not big time money or nothing, but some of these parlays, depending on how the odds are, you can win a lot of money on those, but you got to get it's got to be a long shot for a lot of those. You know, it'd have to be like somebody like Houston beating the Bills or the Bengals, just a very long shot, you know. But I don't do those. I like to take more of the guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, trust me, but I like to wager on stuff that's a little more possibility to do it. So I got the 6 line items that I did tonight on the Bengals game are stuff that's very doable. Like I have Mixon scoring a TD anytime, you know, and I think that'll happen. But you never know. The problem with the parlay is if you lose one of those things, like even if I got 5 out of 6 right, the way I'm understanding it, because I'm just kind of new getting into this wagering stuff, so how I understand it is even if I got one wrong, none of the bet counts. It's done. I'm done. I lose all that money that I put on it. So that's a little weird, a little frustrating. At least I think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so I got Mixon. So tonight we got to have Mixon score a touchdown. We got to have the Bengals to win. I don't know. I forget. I have to look. There's about 4 more scenarios that I picked, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. So try not to turn too sharp because it might be a little slick out because it did rain recently. So let me know in the comments if any of you guys play fantasy football or if you watch the NFL. So this is the good time of year when the playoffs happen, because then everybody's on their game. They're trying their hardest. Not that they don't try during the regular season, but some of these teams have nothing to lose during the regular season, depending on where they're at. But when you get into the playoffs, it's a big difference. You're one and done, or you play your game, you lose, you're out. So the playoffs are a lot of fun because everybody's obviously wanting to continue, right? I think the Bengals will probably make a dent into the playoffs. I think they got a really good football team. But again, I'm done with trying to predict, because every time I try to predict something, the opposite happens, right? So yeah, there you go. There's a bunch of mud there. I'm not gonna go back there. Don't feel like cleaning my tires off when it's winter out. I think I got some subscribers that are, you know, in different countries, especially the countries that have scooters like this as a primary way of transportation. And I think that's pretty cool, because they can, even though I'm American, they can kind of relate to the scooter or the smaller motorbike type things, because they use those as their daily commuters and stuff. Where here in America, we don't do that so much. But anyway, if you're listening outside of America to this video, the football that I'm talking about, the NFL, it's American football. It's not, we call football soccer that is played with a round ball. So in America, football is something different than soccer, which is also called football, right? So, and football in the NFL in America is huge. It's like, it's people's lifestyles. It's not mine. I mean, I enjoy watching my home team and stuff, but if they lose, my life doesn't change. But there's a lot of people in America that, oh my goodness, you would think if their team lost, it's the end of the world, and they get really, really upset about it. But I think a lot of that stems for wagering, because they probably always wager on their favorite team, right? So maybe money is predominantly why people get so upset, but maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, people in America, the NFL, ooh, I just honked my horn. Hey buddy, there's my friend horse there. I've stopped and talked to him a little bit before. But anyway, yeah, so American football is huge, and now that Ohio is allowing sports betting, started yesterday, that's why I got into some of those, it's going to get even bigger and bigger here, because more and more states are allowing sports betting here in America. See, in my state of Ohio, I could never bet on sports. Isn't that weird? Where other states can. We call the country the United States, but they're the ununited states, I should call it, because each state is like its own country and has its own rules and regulations, you know? It's just weird. But my state of Ohio in America, yesterday was the first time that they allowed legal sports betting. Now, yeah, you could do it under the table and you can get a bookie and place your bets that way, but legally, now we're able to do it. So all these places, all these betting sites like FanDuel and MGM and, oh, there's a plethora of them. They're all allowing you to open accounts, and they're giving you free money basically to use, because what they want you to do is sign up, and when you become addicted, right, they're hoping that you're going to stick around and start putting up your own money. Well, I'm not like that. So when I get done with the money, I'm done. So they gave me, I think, about $200 or $300 after about signing up to about 2 or 3 different betting sites, and I'm about 50-50 right now in my wagers, and I won some last night and I lost some yesterday. But tonight's going to be a bigger one, because it's the first time I think I did a parlay bet, so it'll be fun to kind of watch it tonight. But yes, it's huge. Sports betting is very big here in America, and the NFL is also huge. So the two are going to kind of go hand in hand, and they've already been in other states, trust me. So I'm sure some of you that live in other countries know about the NFL, or at least have heard about it. Maybe you have a favorite team and you don't even live in the United States. So let me know in the comments who you follow or who you like. Our team is the Cincinnati Bengals, because I live in Cincinnati. I live about probably 25 minutes to half hour north of the city of Cincinnati. So the Bengals have always kind of been the hometown favorite for me, except when the years they were really bad, when I kind of wrote them off, because we suffered for about 15 to 20 years where they were horrible because they just weren't making any changes. But now that they made some changes and finally got some new coaching and made some draft choices and stuff, they're really coming around, and maybe they'll repeat this year. Hopefully. They got a good shot, just as anybody else. But you know what? The teams that are coming along now, what happened to Green Bay? What happened to Tampa Bay? Oh my goodness. It's like when they want to win, they can. It's weird. I did not start Mike Evans last night, and I'm kicking myself, because I think Mike Evans yesterday, he had like 3 touchdowns, almost like, I think it was over 200 yards and like a dozen receptions. I mean, come on, really? How is that possible? Because he's been just nothing all year long. Once in a while he have a decent game, but I don't get it. I really don't get how they can go from extremes one game to the next. I guess I think it was all matchup. Whoever they played, was it Carolina? I can't remember. Whoever they played, Mike Evans just went wild on that guy. And he could not shut him down, so Brady kept throwing the ball to him, and he scored over 60-something fantasy points. And of course, what's he doing? He's sitting on my bench. Like, you gotta be kidding me. I started Jared McKinnon from the Chiefs over him, and McKinnon had a good game. He's been on fire the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm like, you know, before Mike started playing, I'm like, oh good, I'm glad I made that decision. And then all of a sudden I keep kind of watching the scores, and I'm like, what the hell? What's Mike Evans scoring all these? I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. He's gonna have a career day. And he did. Mike Evans had a career day, and I think 60 points is probably one of the highest fantasy points that's ever been scored in my league from an individual player. Maybe ever. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. Definitely this year. But that 60 points from one player is unheard of. That's like crazy numbers. And of course, I didn't start him. So, see why I get frustrated about fantasy football? Like, really? How can you predict that? You can't. Nobody in their right mind would have thought Mike Evans would have scored 60 points individually. You know what I mean? Ugh. But yet I continue to keep doing it year after year. I get into this silly fantasy stuff, and I think I might be done with it actually this year. From now on, I really think it's impossible to predict fantasy play with these athletes anymore. I just don't really think it's going to be anything that I want to participate in anymore. So we'll see. I forget your guys' names. I'm horrible with names, but I know there's somebody from Arizona. Shout out to Arizona. But man, your team this year, very frustrating. I think I had a player or two from Arizona. Was it Connor? No, not Connor. I can't remember, but they're a team that just, I don't know, touch or go every week. You just never know. Very inconsistent. And what happened to Miami Dolphins? What the hell? Train wreck. So it shows you how good Tua is, right? When you lose a starting quarterback like caliber of Tua. But my goodness, have they just completely went under now. If Tua is done for the year, so are they. They're not going to ever be able to do anything in the playoffs. So I don't know if Tua is coming back. They might try to play him. I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. But man, they are a complete train wreck now. And they had so much potential. But injury, you get the injury bug, man, and that's what happens with the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, with Jalen Hurts going down. Jalen Hurts was my quarterback last year in my fantasy team, but I didn't really have many others besides him, so I didn't do too well. I think I did finish 3rd place. And I think this year I'm going to have to win out. I'm going to have to win the other game next week if I want to finish in 3rd place. So 3rd place is the best I can finish. So I can tie my record for from last year if I finish, or if I win next week for 3rd place. Since I lost this week, I'd see if I would have won this week, I would have been playing in the championship. But no, thanks to Minnesota Vikings. Whatever. And anyway, yeah, Jalen Hurts I think should be back. They're going to definitely play him in the playoffs because they don't have a choice. If they want to win, they're going to have to play Jalen Hurts, whether his shoulder is hurt, no pun intended, or not. Suck it up, take some aspirin, get out there. And I wish the Philadelphia Eagles fans luck. I think they might have a shot if he plays, of course. I don't know about Tua, if Miami's quarterback's going to play or not. If anybody knows, let me know. but although I don't care, I'm done with my season. I could care less if I win or not now. We don't get anything for, she didn't see me at all. We don't get anything for second or third place. In our league, it's just winner take all. If you really ask me who I think is gonna win the Super Bowl this year, I think let's say this, I'll narrow it down to my top 3 teams. I think the top 3 teams, yeah, maybe I'll do 4, that I believe might win the Super Bowl. And I should do a wager on that, actually, but no, I'm not gonna do that. Of course, I think my Bengals might have a chance. I think Philadelphia might have a chance. San Francisco. I'm trying to think who else. Those top 3 and the Bills. So the Bills tonight against Cincinnati, and by the time I release this video, the outcome is already going to be done. So I don't know right now as I'm doing this, but this will be like a playoff game with the Cincinnati Bengals and Buffalo Bills. Tonight is pretty much like a playoff game. So we'll see. But I think Burrow, I mean, gosh, Josh Allen from the Bills is incredible. They're just different type players. Josh is bigger, he's more mobile, and he's not afraid to run the ball and just lower his head and get right in there. So Josh is a better scrambling quarterback, where Burrow's more of a, just, I think, more of a creative mind, and just can read defenses so well and make just these fast decisions. I think that's the difference with Burrow. I mean, he's got legs on him too. He's 6'5", he's a big boy. But I just think Burrow has a mind that is very rare in the NFL, and he can find those, you know, open receivers and get down to his third, fourth, and fifth choice really quickly and scan. That's what he's good at, and that's very rare. Quarterbacks can't do that, not all of them. You can't count out anybody, not in the NFL. When the team like Green Bay last night, when a team like, with the experience of somebody like Rodgers, and he's on, and that whole team is pumped up, let me tell you, they could beat anybody. They proved that last night. So I think that's what's so fun about the NFL. I think I'm gonna probably close it out. I've been rambling on so long, but again, thanks for all the subscribers, and 2023 is going to be a really really fun year. I have a lot of plans as far as getting out more and making more of these. So I hope you like the new theme of the Scootin' Talk. It's going to be a new series where I just get out here and try to narrow down a couple topics and just discuss them. So if you want me to talk about any topic for my next Scootin' Shout or Scootin' Talk, actually Scootin' Shout sounds better. Maybe I'll change the name. No. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about anything. I might have to do a little research on it if it's something I'm not real familiar with, but hell, I'll discuss anything you want. Wish my Bengals luck tonight. It's going to be a big game against the Buffalo Bills. Hoo day, go Bengals! And thanks for checking my channel out. If you haven't subscribed yet, stick around. I got a lot of fun stuff coming down the pipe that I at least planning on. And I hope you enjoy these videos where I just kind of, like I said in the thumbnail, it's kind of like a podcast on 2 wheels, because it's a lot of fun to get out here and just rap and talk about stuff instead of sitting on a couch. Anyway, hope you guys have a great new year. Be safe out there. And if you're interested in getting a bike, check out some of my other videos, okay? Take care. I'm actually warm, my goodness.